Well, I really screwed things up tonight. It actually wasn't my fault. It was just having technical difficulties. So I had this great live feed podcast planned. I had two amazing bodybuilders coming on and talking about the Arnold Classic predictions coming up in a couple of weeks. And I had gotten a brand new laptop over the weekend because I was filming Guy Talk, and like a moron, I was drinking, I dropped my drink on the keyboard, took it to Apple, had to get a brand new one. Saturday, I come home, I hook up the whole laptop, everything's working good. I go to do a live feed and I can't access my camera or my microphone. So I had to call up my guy that helps me out, KB. He's the guy that edits everything, and he had to walk me through everything, and I actually had to postpone it. And I was supposed to have on Jason Ons, who's an ifbb legend, retired bodybuilder, and I was going to have on 212 Olympia champ Sean Clarita. He was coming on, and I screwed it all up. Texted both guys, apologized tremendously, having technical difficulties. And that's basically what happened. Anyway, so there's a couple of things that actually happened in bodybuilding the last couple of days. First thing is they're looking like they're bringing back the Masters Mr. Olympia, which I am a big fan of. So when I was in my 20s and in the 90s and whatnot, and I was a kid, I was a huge fan of Vince Taylor. Vince Taylor was a great bodybuilder, and he would win the Masters Mr. Olympia every year. He won, I think, five times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 96, 97, 99, 2000, something like that. He was a great poser, tremendous bodybuilder. He used to do the Olympia, and then he would always win the Masters Mr. Olympia. He was a tremendous bodybuilder, and I was a huge fan of his. So I love the idea that they're bringing it back, because I have this great bodybuilders over 40, 45, 50, that could do it. So what happened was Jake Wood, who is the owner of the Olympia, was on Dennis James' podcast, Dennis the Menace, and they talked about the Masters Olympia coming back. So apparently they're going to make it a separate event. It's not going to be part of the Mr. Olympia. It's going to come back in 2023, and it's going to be in Romania. So I think it's pretty cool. So there's some crap going around on the internet, like with all the deaths of bodybuilding. Should you let these guys, over 40, over 45, over 50, put their bodies through that, so on and so forth? Is it risky? Yeah, of course it's risky. Listen, man, people are going to do what they want anyway. I mean, I'm a good friend of Vinny Galante. He's 52, and he still competes in Masters contests. There's Masters contests out there. It's just they're not as big as the Olympia one would be. But there's Masters contests out there. We just don't cover them too much. But Vinny Galante from New Jersey, a tremendous bodybuilder, he does, 2 or 3 shows a year and winds up winning them all, So I actually messaged him and I said, they're bringing back the Masters Mr. Olympia. And he was all excited because, of course, he wants to do it, right? Now, as far as it being risky for their health, there was a Masters Mr. Olympia named Don Youngblood. I think he won in 2002. He won in 2002, and he died shortly after that. I don't know what the complications were. I don't know, so on and so forth. He actually beat Vince Taylor. I'm pretty sure he beat Vince Taylor. And I remember when Vince Taylor lost, I was like, wow, Vince Taylor lost the Masters Mr. Olympia. That was like his bread and butter, right? But yeah, and then Don Youngblood beat him, and shortly after they died. So is there a risk? Yeah. But nobody's putting a gun to these guys' heads. And this Masters contest out there, and those guys are still going to do it. So now there was like, all right, is Dexter going to do it? Dexter Jackson. I doubt Dexter. Dexter Jackson actually won the last one they did in 2012. Yeah, 2012, right? So it went from 94 to 2003, and then from 2004 to 2011 they didn't have one, and then 2012 they had one, and Dexter won. You know, they just don't know what the age minimum is going to be. They don't know if it's 40, 45, 50. I don't know. 40 is too young. This guy's in the Olympia close to 40 and 40 and still, you know, breaking top 10 and rocking out, you know. So I would probably make it over 45, but that's completely up to Don Youngblood. Jake Wood, listen to me. Duh. It's completely up to Jake Wood. But I don't know. We'll see. But you know, there's plenty of guys, you know, that might be over 40 and they might make it 40 and over because then you'll get a handful of guys from the Olympia that'll actually swing over and do the Mr. Olympia and more, you know, make it more of a draw like Dexter did. And I remember, I think Tony Freeman did the one in 2012, so on and so forth. You know, back in the day, Robbie Robinson would do it. I think Lou Ferrigno did it. I know Lou Ferrigno never won, but Robbie Robinson won. Chris Dickerson won. Porter Cortell, is that his name? I think so. I think he won. But Vince, Don Youngblood, and Dexter, obviously the most, and Robbie Robinson were the most popular bodybuilders that actually won, right? So anyway, going back to another gossipy topic. I'm a big fan of RX Muscle, Dave Palumbo, and he had on doing a show last night. And this guy Johnny Bravo was on. I guess he's some kind of social media personality. I really don't know who he is. But he was talking about how he had a lot of information on how Rich Piana died. Now, I'm just saying this secondhand, man. I have no idea, okay? I have no clue how the guy died or so on and so forth. I'm just delivering the information that I got from RX Muscle from this guy, Johnny Bravo. According to him, he said that Rich Piana used to inject silicone into his body. Now, I didn't even know you could do that. And I told my wife that. She said, oh, yeah, the girls do put it in their butts. Excuse me. I was like, their butts? They put it in their butts? Jesus. It's just, you know, whatever. I don't know how dangerous it is. Apparently, it's pretty dangerous, you know. Dave Palumbo would know more about that than I would because he's a damn genius. But so apparently, according to this guy, Johnny Bravo, Rich Piana used to go to South America and get silicone injections all throughout his body. And then in LA, he found a trans woman that used to do it for him. And then he learned how to do it himself, and then he would do it himself. And this would give him that big, huge look. And people would look at him and go, you know, he's big and muscular, but it doesn't look natural. It kind of looks, you know, people were saying, you know, pump and pose. They were saying some kind of oil. They were saying some other substances, so on and so forth. But this guy's saying silicone. And apparently silicone doesn't absorb into your system. So it stays there. And it doesn't get any smaller. So I guess he just looks massive all the time. I don't know exactly how this happens, but apparently this is a dangerous process. And this guy was doing it. And I don't know, man. Okay, who? Very cool, Alan. Masters should not come back. Why, Alan? Why don't you think Masters should not come back? I don't know. I am all in favor of it. I think I love the Masters Olympia back in the day. I'm all in favor of it. I think it would be great. I was a huge fan of Vince Taylor. I was a huge fan of Robbie Robinson, Lou Ferrigno, so on and so forth. And I know there's risks. I get it. You know, like I said, Don Youngblood had died shortly after he won in 2002. But there are master shows out there, and they just run out of the radar because they're not covered. And like I said, I have a very good friend that's been on my show, 2 or 3 times already, Vinny Gallant, and he does them, and he's 52, 53 years old. I think, you know, listen, man, they're going to do it if they want to do it. They're going to do these master shows if they want to do it. And I think the Masters Olympia, I think it would be great. I have no problem with it. I think it would be great. But okay. I'm in favor, but how old is too old? Yeah, it's a lot of risks, but oh well, I guess. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know how old you are. Very cool, Alan, but there was a guy back in the day, like I just said, named Don Youngblood. He was a monster, and he actually beat Vince Taylor. Vince Taylor used to win all the time. And he beat Vince Taylor, and it was like a big upset. And shortly after that, he passed. He died. I don't know exactly what it was, probably because he was older and he was, 270 pounds, 280, however big he was. And that probably had a lot of stress on his body. I don't know. But these guys are going to take their risks anyway. I mean, like I said, this Masters shows now. It's just not under the microscope. Nobody's looking at them. The people think they're not there. They're there. Believe me, there's one in Baltimore every year. I think there's one in Boston. There's Masters shows, And if people want to compete, and that's what they drive, and that's their passion, go right ahead, man. I don't know. And there's guys over 40 that's in the Olympia. I don't know what the threshold's going to be. I don't know how much. I don't know what the minimum age is going to be, but there's guys in the Olympia that's around 40 or over 40, and they could definitely swing over. I know Brandon Curry's like 39. Rolly Winkler's over 40. I think he's 42 or 43. And these guys could swing over, and it could be a big draw. And they're going to compete anyway. And I think it's going to be in, what did he say it was going to be? Not in the States. I said it before. I don't remember. I forgot where it was going to be. I said it before. But, yeah, I understand the risks, especially in the last couple of years. It's been, there's been deaths. But listen, you're not going to stop people from competing, from stopping one show. That's not reasonable. It's not logical. It's just not going to happen. Okay. But, everybody's entitled. I think Rolly, let's see. Very cool. And I think Rolly could come over and win it for sure. Maybe Dexter. Yeah. Dexter was on Instagram, apparently, and people were sending him messages, and he basically brushed it off. I don't think Dexter's going to do it, personally. I don't think he's going to do it. He has nothing to prove. The man is in the discussion of greatest bodybuilder of all time. He would just be a shell of himself because now he's shrunk down. He would have to blow back up. It never works out that way. The reason why Dexter was so great for so long is because he was consistent and he never had to take any time off like Kevin Lerone did, and he had to make a comeback. And then Flex Wheeler did, and he had to make a comeback. Dexter never took any time off, and he was a genetic freak, and he proved himself. I don't see Dexter doing it because he's got nothing to prove, man. I mean, he's the most winning Arnold Classic winner ever, the most wins in professional bodybuilding ever, including Mr. Olympia. There's not one show that he's ever entered that he hasn't won, meaning that if he won the New York Pro, if he lost it and he did it the next year, he won it the next year, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know what that means. Timothy Weaver, Von Rent. I don't know what that means, Von Rent. Yeah, man, I'm in favor of it. It don't bother me. As far as the Rich Piana thing, yeah, he apparently was injecting silicone. I don't know all that story. I don't know, man. Listen, I'll be the first one to say that I love going to the gym, and I'm 45 years old, and I love to be bigger and stronger and so on and so forth. And I'm just as insecure as anybody else. I'm just as vain. But to do something like that, I don't know. That was a little risky. It might have cost him his life. It might have not. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I didn't do the autopsy. I don't know. But that is the rumor floating around, that he had injected silicone all over his body. And I think the trans girls do it. Like if they can't afford, they put it in their boobs and their butt. If they can't afford like real operations and breast implants and stuff like that. I don't know. It sounds dangerous, man. I don't know enough about it. Just delivering the gossip, if you will. I don't know. But I remember going to see Vince Taylor guest posing. Man, he was some guest poser. He used to dance and do the robot. Like, ever see do the King Kamali thing? He used to do it. He could get all dressed up. He was a tremendous, and he was the nicest guy in the world. You would talk to him as a fan, and he would stay and talk, and he was personable and so on and so forth. He's still around. He's still, he's still very healthy. He still lifts weights. He still looks great. I think he has his own Instagram and his Facebook and all that, so on and so forth. But he was a tremendous, tremendous bodybuilder, a tremendous personality, and he did a lot for bodybuilding. See, I'm pretty much all for that. But yeah, I was supposed to have 212 Olympia champ Sean Clarita on today. I was supposed to have Jason on today. We're going to do the Arnold Classic predictions. Coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm hoping that I can reschedule with those two guys and have it next week because I have it working now because my computer was acting up. But I'll throw this much out there. I saw pictures of Brandon Curry today. I don't think anybody's beating him, man. That guy just gets better and better and better. He looks amazing. He's absolutely amazing. His legs are no longer a weak point. Like, 3-4 years ago, they're a weak point. And they literally matches up a body with separation and separation all the way up to his hip striations. The guy looks just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Just tremendous. But the strides that guy made. Let's see. Who's going to win the Arnold Classic? Oh, you mean the classic physique. I would have to go with Rough Diesel. I don't know too much about the classic body, the classic physique. I don't follow it too much. I know the top guys, but I've seen pictures of Brian and Rough Diesel, and it looks like I would have to go with Rough Diesel. He looks pretty damn good, man. Yeah, his progress pics he looks pretty damn good. Brian is still in the picture. He's still there. I know he's the only former Olympia Classic Physique Olympia champ on the stage at the Arnold Classic. But Rough Diesel did beat him last year, right? He came in second in the Olympia, and he came in third. Brian still holds his own, but there's there's always young guys coming up, man. There's always young guys coming up and looking to knock you off. Always. I think Rough Diesel's going to give what's-his-name a run for his money at the Olympia this year. Who's the classic physique champ? I forgot his name. Yeah, I forgot his name. But as far as the Open goes, yeah, I'd have to pick Brandon, and then if I had to pick number 2, Steve Kuklo. That's what I have to pick. I'd have to pick number 2, Steve Kuklo. I'd have to pick Brandon, and I think you're going to see some of these younger guys breaking the top 5. I think you're going to be seeing Regan Grimes. I think you're going to be seeing Brett Wilkins in there. I think you're going to be seeing Samson Dowda in there. Samson Dowda he's another guy who looks amazing. He might not have the size that the other guys have, but he has the shape and the symmetry and the proportions, and he's in shape. He's shredded. And he looks, what reminds me of Samson Dowda? Samson Dowda reminds me of Sean Roden in like 2012. Like, if everybody was saying if he added 10, 15 more pounds, he could be Mr. Olympia. That's what Samson Dowda seems like to me. Like, you look at him, you go, Jesus, this guy adds 10 pounds and doesn't blow out his stomach. He's dangerous in a lot of lineups. That's what he looks like to me. I think he's going to pull a Rafael Brandao and beat a lot of guys on his shape alone, personally. But, yeah, I don't want to do it without those guys because I was supposed to do it with Sean Clarita and Jason Owens, 2 great guys. Sean Clarita is an animal in the gym. The guy trains like I was with him today, actually. Well, he works out with his wife, but we know each other from the gym. And him and his wife are no joke in the gym, man. They are no joke. I'll put them two up against anybody, any day of the week, as far as how hard they work in the gym. They are just monsters. And she's not like a bodybuilder. She's just like in shape, but she pushes him to the max. It's like, you know that expression, for every great man there's a great woman behind him. That's them. That's Sean and his wife, man. I mean, she makes sure that he's on it, and he never lets it down. I mean, best 212 bodybuilder in the world as far as I'm concerned. There's a couple other pros in the gym that I go to, and I'm not going to name names, but they don't train very hard. I'm talking, when I say pros, I mean open bodybuilders. They go through the motions. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like, are you even trying? You give a shit? But I don't know. Well, I wanted to come on, make this nice and short, and apologize to everybody who was looking forward to seeing Sean and Jason Ons. I promise I will do my best to get them back. I know Jason Ons will be back because he loves coming on. He's been on 3 times with me already, 3 or 4 times with me already. He's a friend to the show and a friend to me. Sean, he's a little bit busier because he's, former 212 champ and one of the best bodybuilders in the world. So I'm hoping he'll be able to come back next week. But on my Instagram, Serious and Silliness on Instagram, on my Facebook, John Livio and Serious and Silliness on Facebook, I will post when we will be doing the countdown and the prediction show to the Arnold Classics. And again, guys, I'm really sorry about that, man. I really screwed it up. I know I was so excited. I never had 2 guys that big on at the same time, and I was really excited. And, I apologize to them too because, I told them, I'll send you the link and blah, blah, blah. And I was having severe trouble, but apologies. And we will be back, and we're going to do it next week because the week after is the show. So we're going to do it next week. It'll be even better, and we'll probably have more gossip. There's always bodybuilding gossip. All right, guys, listen. Have a good night. I'm signing out. I got work in the morning. It's late, and we're done. All right. Love you guys. Later. Peace.